Hello and welcome. This is Business Time, a magazine program where we bring you major business and economic news stories making headlines in the country. And my name is William Kumwembe. Coming up in the program today, scramble for FDH Bank shares on listing day. We have a report. And government tipped on enhancing project financing. We have these and other stories. Stay tuned if you could.
Zinenenje nazo mnalimo muno
ndimadza kulya ruzina ndi zina mwali
kumande mwachopatu shuga apo tikona nkaka umatu masambati ndi mulibe
ala mwakuti samwaliyo masamba
ndakalaso ngati amwali komanso to inu mubasiketani yonse yangodzadza ndi made in Malawi yokayoka tamakani moyo otsogola pogula zinthu zakunja
maganizo amene uli ndiobwezera chitukuko cha dziko lino mbuyo kugula zinthu zopangidwa kwathu konkuno kumathandiza kukweza ntchito za makampani a dziko muno zomwenso zimapereka mwayi wa ntchito kwa anthu ambiri ogwira ntchito akachuluka dziko lathu limatolera misonkho yochuluka chumanso chimakwera mukagulatu katundu wakunja mumangolemeretsa mayiko akunjawo ife sitipindula kanthu
kani
tikuwuzani
apo ndamvetsatu tandikire pompa nene ndikagule zinthu zathu za chimalawi sindichedwa
tigule zathu tilikule dziko lathu
ndidikire sindichedwa
dziko lathu bai Malawi tikonde ndi kunyadira za chimalawi tikamagula za
Hello and welcome. This is Business Time and my name is William Kumwembe. On Monday, FDH Bank listed on the Malawi Stock Exchange, becoming the 5th bank to list on the stock market and 16th counter on the local bourse. Within 30 minutes of trading on the first day, the bank had traded over 950,000 shares, influencing price movement from 10 kwacha during the IPO period to 15 kwacha per share. We have the whole story in this report.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Ringing of a bell and cutting of a ribbon, marking official entry of FDH Bank on the local bourse, the Malawi Stock Exchange. FDH is the 16th counter and 5th bank on the stock market. Within 35 minutes after its entry on the stock market on Monday, share prices for the bank went up by 50% to trade at 15 kwacha per share from an initial public offer price of 10 kwacha per share. This excited stakeholders and investors. By 9:45 a.m. local time, about 985,000 shares of the bank were traded on the market, a development analysts rated as an indication that there is high appetite. Listing of the bank has added 69.01 billion kwacha to the Malawi Stock Exchange market capitalization, according to MSCE Chief Executive Officer John Kamanga.
In fact, the coming in of the FDH Bank on the Malawi Stock Exchange is of great significance, not only to the bank but also to the Malawi Stock Exchange. It is significant to the Malawi Stock Exchange in the sense that one of the objectives of the Malawi Stock Exchange is to redistribute wealth to many Malawians, especially the general public. And we have seen that the coming in of the FDH Bank, it has enabled at least retail investors of more than actually 2,700 retail investors coming into the bank. And these are the investors who wouldn't have actually managed to establish a bank on their own. But the fact that at least the bank has been listed and them that have invested in the bank, they are now actually proud owners of the bank by investing in the bank themselves.
Following the listing, FDH Financial Holdings Limited holds 74.05%, Malawi government holds 4.75%, MSB Employee Share Ownership Scheme holds 1.2%, and the public has the remaining 20% stake. FDH Bank Managing Director is Elias Ngalande.
It means, I think Malawians, as I've always said, know a good thing when they see it. And we came to the market to inform Malawians that there was an opportunity for them to invest long term in a bank that has a good future, in a bank that is homegrown, in the bank that they can call their own. And I think Malawians knew we were telling them the truth, and they have shown it by oversubscribing to the initial offer that we made.
Among other things, FDH Bank listing is in line with the bank's contractual obligation with the government as part of the Malawi Savings Bank acquisition. Public-Private Partnership Commission Acting Chief Executive Officer Audrey Mwala says entry of the bank on the stock market entails a significant step on the path towards financial inclusion.
It's a very interesting development, and it means a lot to the country. There are many things, but I'll just mention a few. The first one, it's about financial inclusiveness. As you are aware, the Malawi government has got a program to broaden inclusiveness of Malawians on the financial market. And this is a great opportunity that Malawians can have a chance to become shareholders and take part on the Malawi Stock Exchange. In fact, the stock exchange is there and it has been around for a while, but not many Malawians take the initiative on their own to go and invest on the stock exchange. So when you have an opportunity like this one, which is an IPO, which is usually heavily advertised, a lot of people get excited to have a chance to list on the stock exchange.
In the past 5 years, the bank has recorded an average revenue growth of 19.2% per annum. In the year ended December 31st, 2019, the bank registered a post-tax profit of 7.8 billion kwacha, up from 5.96 billion kwacha registered in the preceding year. Now, some experts have urged the government to consider putting up policies and structures that would facilitate easy access to finance, and specifically project financing. Specific sectors like mining or exploration are targeted to enhance growth of the economy. Chimwemwe Mangazi has the whole story in this report.
Most businesses claim that operations have slowed more than 50% since the fall of the COVID-19 pandemic. This came out during an online project finance training organized by the Institute of Chartered Accountants in Malawi, ICAM, and Sycamore Consult Limited. In an interview, ICAM Marketing and Public Relations Manager Patrick Achitabwino said Malawi fails to market bankable projects to financiers.
Basically, we are not really doing as highly as anticipated in this sub-Saharan part of Africa. They are currently, you talk of the big economies like Nigeria, South Africa, and other big projects in East Africa. Actually, projects financing is taking a big deal, especially in countries where there is mainly oil and gas. And in other countries, maybe talking of telecommunications, but not really quite a big deal in other countries in Sub-Saharan Africa, like Malawi. Nevertheless, we are not actually that lagging far behind. We still have got, I think, projects within the range of $1.1 to $9 million, I think, within this part as ranked by the World Bank. It's also dependent on what exactly is highly considered to build value on the market. Yes, if you look at project financing, it's going to be a big deal in oil and gas because it takes lots and significant resources basically to start drilling oil. So if you go to other countries, let's say you look at Malawi is mostly in agriculture. So agriculture, the investment required, the financial base required may not be as highly as significant as it might be required, let's say like in mining in South Africa or as in not telecommunication, but as in oil and gas in Nigeria and Ghana and Angola. I think basically there's need to carry out a proper feasibility study on how great are our mineral resources and what could be the market value, because you may have the resources, but you look at if we start mining them, are we in a position to realize the investment made in the mining? Because mining is not a cheap investment. Secondly, we also have to understand that if we are coming into the mining now, we are coming in a little bit late. Are the minerals that are very different from minerals which are actually being mined in other countries? Because our friends have already been established on the market and they've already invested in it, and we're going into it competitively. Are we the best competitors in that regard? Nevertheless, mining still remains part of the great future. But also maybe we should be looking at, should we be just mining for the sake of sending the primary minerals? Or should we be thinking greater and better and consider value addition so that we actually derive great value from our minerals?
Mwai Makwakwa is Sycamore Consult Acting Chief Executive Officer.
It's about project finance, and it's one of the best trainings so far that we've organized as Sycamore Concert Limited in partnership with ICAM. And I would say that this partnership between Sycamore Concert Limited and ICAM has seen us organizing a number of trainings, almost 3 of them. The first one was on ethics, the second one was on finance for non-finance managers, and this one now is on project finance. Very, very critical area indeed. In this area of project finance, we're discussing 3 main areas in terms of how to do project preparations. When you look at finance, the processes involved, and also application of project finance. As you know, project finance is not easy to acquire. In terms of sourcing, it's not easy to acquire. For sponsors or even donors in other big projects to be able to give project finance, it hasn't been easy. Even for banks to be able to provide finance for projects, it's not an easy process. So, therefore, there is a need for people within the accounting field and also people in various other fields to be able to understand this critical topic.
The training attracted participation from local and foreign personnel in sourcing and managing project finance.
Remember, this is Business Time, a magazine program where we bring you major business and economic news stories making headlines. When we get back, we speak to stakeholders on ways to ensure that the Best Buy Malawi spirit is sustained. When we get back.
Excuse me, madam. Stop billing. I'm taking back all these goods to the shelves.
What's wrong, sir?
Never mind. I have just changed my mind.
Excuse me. I just noticed you returned all the goods you meant to buy. What went wrong?
Some of these products are not originally made here in Malawi.
But these goods have a logo to authenticate them. And we manufacture them ourselves.
Then it means you're not registered with Buy Malawi strategy. This logo here with a tick is not correct.
How?
All products and services registered with Buy Malawi strategy have an original logo approved by government through the Ministry of Industry, Trade and Tourism that really authenticates your product as a Malawian product. Now, once you register, your product and service will be recognized as Malawian. Look, we must buy Malawi to build Malawi. You can find out more from Buy Malawi Secretariat or call them on 01 770 244 0993 707 729 or 0999 528 510. You can also simply email info@buymalawi.mw.
Buy Malawi, tukondendi kunyadira za chimalawi, tikamagula.
Welcome back. For quite some time, Malawi has been predominantly a consuming and importing nation, piling pressure on the forex position in the country. Not only forex position, but even economic growth strides have been greatly affected. In that vein, the country, some years back, introduced what it called Best Buy Malawi, advocating for consumption of locally produced products. But this seemed not to have yielded the desired fruit of import substitution. Now, stakeholders feel there is something that needs to be done to ensure that the wheel is reinvented. Odreka Palmula has been speaking with some.
So I would say that Malawians should now start seeing their own as the best, not always playing second fiddle to neighboring countries, because what our own locals are producing here, if credit be given, are products of great quality. The sobo, the squash, the Malawi gin, these are trademark Malawi products that have internationally respected standards. So we need to be able to have that mindset change and start appreciating our own carrots, our own veggies, and our own eggs, our own products. Like you've heard from the ShopRite managers, that quite a very good percentage of their products is locally made, but perhaps Malawians do not really know that these are our own products. I think we're doing well. We have some challenges here and there, and one thing that Ministry of Trade wants to embark on is to make sure that the value chains are not dominated by a single entity.
My name is Annie Chisala, and I'm representing Ori Meat Products. We're based in Blantyre in Chileka, but we distribute across the country. Established over 25 years ago, back in 1992. Initially, we started as a small company. We were only supplying very few of the retailers. At the moment, we are supplying at large scale, at the mass, to the majority of the retailers across the country. But we also are proud to be able to supply to, convenience stores in the location and in areas that are in the outskirts of the main cities. We have a very, very good relationship, I want to say, with the international retailers. And by international retailers, obviously we're mentioning ShopRite being top of one of our customers.
Now, cement manufacturer Shayona says it has plans to increase its output by 150% by June next year. Our reporter Taonga Sabola caught up with managing director for the firm, Jitendra Patel.
And I have answered this question several times, and I feel proud and happy to answer the same question again and again. First of all, it's a wrong concept. I repeat, it's a wrong concept that imported cement is cheap. It's not cheap. It is smuggled inside, therefore it is lending cheap. Secondly, the manufacturers of the cement in the surrounding countries are subsidizing their product. That's why it's an unfair competition. We also approached the previous government to say that we are an infant industry. Our costs are going to be very high initially because we do import quite a bit from abroad. Our capital investment is very high. The rates of interest are very high. We have a challenge of importing local. We can't use the local coal because you need a specific type of coal. People have this wrong concept that why are you importing coal when you are having coal mines in Malawi? Yes, we do have, but you cannot just make any quality of cement. For the particular quality of cement.
Now, for over a year, business seemed to have been on a standstill in the country for obvious reasons. One, political uncertainty and political impasse that engulfed the economy for more than 12 months since last year. Secondly, the heavy weight of coronavirus seemed to have had a bearing on operations of businesses in the country. Now, how are things like as we speak, and what is the future like? This is a question our reporter Chimwemwe Mangazi asked some business operators in Blantyre.
Some of the vendors are confident that business will go back to normal before the end of the year. They, however, have urged the government to engage counterparts to allow free movement of people for business to stabilize. Some are calling for speedy reopening of schools.
Of course, now we can say business is going, but it's too slow now. We can't compare like before. I think we can say now the customers, they are failing to come buy something like you see we are selling now, but no customers since morning. So I think maybe other people, they are afraid to come here in town because you see now there is coronavirus. So they are afraid maybe they can get that disease. You see. So we are just suffering here since morning up until maybe evening without selling anything. You see. I just beg the government maybe to release some money, maybe to give the people who are working, maybe they can get something so that they will come to buy our things. Yes. Now they are just working in the houses. They don't come here in the market to buy anything. Yes.
Yavuda president atwayambaja atangonena kuti lockdown pamene anthu adapangisa kuti business samaende ndikutseka kwa maboda panopati kamauri tifuna tigule katundu maiko akunja katundu medu kufuna ife ndimene akuti patsa iwo ndolakwika.
So basically things are not really going well because we are importing products which are not of good quality, and also because of COVID people are not buying things in the shops as much as they used to, and also the substandard products that we are importing are not helping. People don't want to buy anything these days. Things are not really going well because we are importing products which are not of good quality, and also because of COVID people's disposable income has also gone down. People would rather buy food and pay rent. So now we are actually urging the government to talk with their counterparts in the neighboring countries to open up the borders to encourage the flow of good quality products to come in.
Now the business is not punching as it was because of COVID-19. We are experiencing downfall of the business because we are not receiving enough funds so far. In percentage term, the percentage of nowadays is about 40 to 30. But before COVID-19, the percentage was about 70 to 80%. Yeah. The expectation is a bit higher because we believe that as the government has brought up medicine for COVID-19, I think that the business is going to move. Yeah, and the expectation is there.
Most businesses claim that operations have slowed more than 50% since the fall of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Well, on that note, we've also come to the end of today's edition of the program Business Time, a magazine program where we bring you major business and economic news stories making headlines. On behalf of the entire production team, my name is William Kumwembe. But always remember, if it doesn't make money, it doesn't make sense. Stay safe and bye for now.